Before you took your first breath, before your heart beat for the first time, something was already written. A book. Your book. And in it, according to Psalm 139, every single day of your life was recorded before one of them came to be. But here's what most Christians never stop to consider. On that first page, there was another name. Not yours. The name of the celestial being assigned to guard you. The question isn't whether you have a guardian angel. Scripture makes that clear. The real question is far more profound. Why that angel? Why you? What is the connection between the day you were born and the heavenly protector assigned to watch over your soul? There's a secret behind your birth date that changes everything. And today, we're going to uncover it. Most people have a vague idea about guardian angels. Maybe you picture a gentle figure with wings hovering somewhere nearby. Maybe you imagine these beings floating through heaven, spotting a newborn and thinking, "That one looks nice, I'll take that one." But this picture has a serious problem. It makes God passive and angels autonomous. It turns divine protection into celestial randomness. The truth is far more intentional. When we examine what the Bible actually says, when we dig into the original Hebrew and Greek, study the insights of the Church Fathers, and trace the theological traditions that have preserved ancient wisdom, we discover something remarkable. The assignment of your guardian angel is not random. It is not based on angelic preference. It is the result of divine architecture, rooted in God's eternal foreknowledge and perfectly aligned with the specific purpose of your life. Hebrews 1:14 describes angels as ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. Notice that word, sent. Angels don't volunteer. They don't apply for positions. They are deployed by the commander of heaven's armies for specific missions. And one of those missions is you. To understand why your angel was assigned to you, we need to answer 3 questions. First, what exactly is a guardian angel? Second, when does God make this assignment? And third, what determines the match between a specific angel and a specific person? The answers will take us from the throne room of heaven to the womb of your mother, and to a secret hidden in the calendar itself. Let's start by clearing away the greeting card imagery. Your guardian angel is not a chubby infant with tiny wings. The beings described in Scripture are anything but cute. The word angel itself is revealing. In Hebrew, it's malach. In Greek, angelos. Both words mean the same thing, messenger. This isn't a species name, it's a job description. Angels are spiritual beings created by God to serve as messengers and executors of His will. What does spiritual being mean? According to Hebrews 1:14, angels are spirits. They lack physical bodies. They are not bound by the same limitations we experience. They can move without traveling. They can perceive without physical senses. Their intellect surpasses human understanding, though it remains finite and dependent on God's revelation. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Scripture and Christian tradition describe an elaborate hierarchy among these beings. The prophet Isaiah saw the seraphim, burning ones, crying, "Holy, holy, holy," around God's throne. Ezekiel encountered the cherubim, mysterious creatures guarding divine mysteries. Paul mentions thrones, dominions, principalities, and powers in Colossians 1:16. Theologians like Thomas Aquinas organized these references into 9 orders of angels, arranged in 3 hierarchies. At the very top are the seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. beings who dwell closest to God's presence. In the middle are dominions, virtues, and powers, beings who govern cosmic order and spiritual warfare. At the bottom are principalities, archangels, and angels. Your guardian angel typically belongs to that lowest order, simply called angels. But don't let the word lowest mislead you. Pope Gregory the Great made a striking observation about these beings. He noted that they are charged with announcing the smallest things, the affairs of individual human beings. And here's the paradox. What God calls small, heaven treats as infinitely precious. Think about it. The creator of the universe, the one who commands seraphim and dispatches archangels, has assigned a specific celestial being to watch over you. Not humanity in general, not your city or your church, you personally. Your soul is considered so valuable that it warrants dedicated heavenly attention. But here's where it gets even more interesting. If angels are assigned by God rather than self-selected, then when does this assignment happen? The answer reveals something stunning about your birth date. Before we can discuss timing, we need to establish something crucial. The Bible really does teach that you have a personal guardian angel, not just general angelic protection, but a specific being assigned specifically to you. The most important verse on this subject comes from the lips of Jesus himself. In Matthew 18:10, Christ issues a warning about how we treat those he calls little ones, believers who may seem insignificant to the world. Listen to what he says. "See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." Two words in that sentence change everything. Their angels, not the angels, not some angels, their angels. The pronoun is possessive. It implies ownership, assignment, specific connection. Jesus is saying that these humble believers have angels that belong to them, celestial beings personally connected to their welfare. But there's more. Jesus adds that these angels always see the face of my Father in heaven. This phrase would have been immediately understood by his first-century audience. In ancient royal courts, seeing the face of the king was a privilege reserved for the most trusted, highest-ranking advisors. Common servants never saw the king's face. Only those with unlimited access, those who could approach the throne at any moment, enjoyed this privilege. By using this imagery, Jesus reveals something remarkable. The angel assigned to watch over even the most obscure Christian is a high-ranking favorite of God. Your guardian has 24/7 throne room access. While you sleep, while you work, while you struggle through an ordinary Tuesday, your angel is beholding the face of the Father, receiving instructions on your behalf. The Old Testament confirms this protection. Psalm 91:11 declares, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." In the original Hebrew, the word "you" is singular. This isn't just about God protecting Israel as a nation. It's about God commanding angels concerning you as an individual to guard you in all your ways. Even the early church understood this. In Acts 12, when Peter miraculously escapes from prison and shows up at a prayer meeting, the believers don't believe it's really him. It must be his angel, they say. Notice, not an angel, his angel. The early Christians assumed that each believer had a recognizable personal guardian. This wasn't new theology they invented. It was an understanding they inherited from Jewish tradition and the teaching of Jesus himself. So Scripture is clear. You have a personal guardian with VIP access to God's throne. But this raises the critical question: when did God make this assignment? At birth? At baptism? Or somewhere else entirely? To answer this question, we need to examine one of the most profound passages in all of Scripture, Psalm 139. David writes in verses 13 through 16, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Every phrase here is loaded with meaning. You knit me together. The Hebrew imagery suggests deliberate craftsmanship, like a master weaver creating a tapestry thread by thread. You are not an accident of biology. You are a work of intentional art. Your eyes saw my unformed body. The Hebrew word here is golem. It refers to a shapeless, rolled-up mass, something without form or definition. God saw you when you were nothing but potential. Before you had features, before you had a heartbeat, before anyone could have predicted who you would become, God saw you. But here's the key phrase: all the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. Your days were written in a book before they happened. This means your life is not a series of random events. It's a script, a story. And that story existed in the mind of God before you drew your first breath. The prophet Jeremiah received a similar revelation. In Jeremiah 1:5, God tells him, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." The Hebrew word for "knew" here is yada. This isn't casual awareness. Yada implies intimate, relational knowledge, the kind of knowing that exists between the closest of companions. God didn't just know about you before you were born. He knew you. He was in relationship with the essence of who you are before your mother knew she was pregnant. Now, consider what this means for your guardian angel. If God wrote your days before they existed, and if He knew you before He formed you, then the assignment of your guardian happened in eternity past. Your angel wasn't assigned at birth. Your angel was assigned when your story was written. Birth is simply the moment your book opened on earth. This is where two biblical concepts of time become essential. The Greeks had two words for time, chronos and kairos. Chronos is clock time, seconds, minutes, hours ticking away in sequence. Kairos is something different. It means the appointed time, the set time, the propitious moment. Galatians 4:4 uses this concept. When the fullness of time had come, God sent His Son. Jesus wasn't born at a random moment. He entered the world at the moment, the precise kairos that God had appointed for salvation history. Here's the profound truth. Your birth date is also a kairos moment. You were not born on your birthday by accident. You were not born early or late. You arrived at exactly the moment God intended, the moment when the first page of your written story opened in the physical world. And the guardian angel assigned to that story was already in position, already commissioned, already watching.